Concluding remarks. Rome has been used in several countries and situations as a potent narrative for empire. Conservative Conservatism, the suppression of dissent, and pleas for social consensus through subjection to tradition. Concordia ordinum, or social consensus, has been taken as a way of imposing social cohesion and fostering. Excuse me. The abiding of social hierarchy, as we argue, Brazil has established its own reception of Rome as a conservative imagery. We noticed then that early innovative social thinkers, such as anthropologist Darcy Ribeiro, subverted this conservative stand and proposed Rome as a narrative for social liberation. Hmm. Instead of submission, as Cetis proposes, 2006 110, Roman material culture can be an effective key for assessing the multiplicity of cultures in the modern world, and for help it can give us understanding the way in which these cultures, excuse me, not vultures, are penetrating each other. In this case study, we argue that scholarship since the restoration of the rule of law and democracy in 1985 contributed uniquely to a reception of Rome used to challenge social imbalances in the present and to struggle for social justice and respect for social diversity. Gay, let's continue. Pompeian archaeology was then used as a particular instance which enabled scholars to discuss a series of relevant issues such as local dining habits or the upcoming conflicts in a society formed by peoples from different ethnic origins. Okay. The role of women in society, the wishes, practices, doubts, and yearnings of free, poor men and women, male and female slaves, freedmen. Thus, archaeological evidence opens up the possibility for us to relate Romans to us in unsuspecting and critical ways. Same people. If we consider the deep social inequality that ravages the country, the studies produced in the last decades by Brazilians and their advertising through publications and specialization courses for teachers, all this helped foster debates about issues such as ethnicity, identities, religiosity, and beyond. Emphasizing diversity and multiple approaches helps us build educational policies focusing on human rights and the acknowledgement of diversity, ethnic, social, and sexual. Mm, okay. Producing critical visions such as much as about the present and the ancient past of Romans being in Brazil, focusing on the excluded past in an effort to accept the existence of denied views of Roman history and archaeology can become a useful political tool to challenge traditional historiography as well as normative interpretations of society today. Okay, knowing that the Romans in Brazil gives them the right to take away the land from the Portuguese and the Spaniards. So they won't be called Spanish. If all goes well for them, they'll be called Roman slaves. Let's continue. In this way, critical discussion of the predominance of an elite point of view of Roman society, no thank you, and the effort in looking for resistance in other forms of lives is an alternative way to show the diversity of mechanisms used to wield power over people in the past and the present. Bring up the Roman shipwreck that gives them authority for Romans to rule in the present. And it demonstrates how scholars and school teachers can apply social theory or Roman socialism to modern society. As archaeology provides remains of ordinary people, it allows us to recover everyday lives and create alternative stories. Yeah, I seen Doctor Strange. Invisible in the majority of traditional research, by constructing new ways of understanding the past. This is a read on Romans in Brazil. It is possible to awaken empathy towards the subject and young people about the Romans being in Brazil and not the Portuguese and Spaniards. But let's continue with different backgrounds and stimulate the dialogue between the Roman and Brazil past and the Romans and Brazil present. Not as simple heritage and continuity, but as rupture, as other forms of living and feeling can inspire us in the present. Briefly, we believe that the study of excluded groups in ancient Rome through a critical theoretical approach helps us to challenge the elite view and allows us to seek for a social and political engagement to consider the neglected history of the Romans being in Brazil when you came down there and got your ass whooped. Yeah. Last but not least, the mixed features of the reception of Rome and Brazil and the possible role played by scholarship in fostering social justice so that the Romans may take Brazil easily. Oh, wait, hold on. What's that statue? Let me continue. Social justice may contribute to a similar discussion in other countries and cultural areas. In several countries, there has been a backlash against the classics. Okay. Who's fighting Rome in South America? We'll come back to that later. The study of Greeks and Romans has been considered to be either irrelevant or simply reactionary and oppressing. However, the reception of the ancient does not necessarily entail such conservative side effects in a society and may indeed contribute to social change, inclusion, and justice. Scholarship concerned with the relevance of the past to the present, asking why the past matters. Just get over it, man. The Romans trying to uncover their stand in Brazil, just get over it. Get over it. May prove an invaluable tool for social goals today and for a better society in the future. Okay, I don't know whose future they talk. Oh, let me see. Oh, these Roman names, Spaniard names. Let's see. As conclusion on this read, the uses of Roman heritage in Brazil. I can't flip this screen upside down, but I can say indigenous up, Roman heritage in Brazil down. No longer the white man, woman, and child. Nickname pale people. True name leper. Lepers. Lepers down, Aboriginal up. Out.